Okay, so today we are going to discuss about one of the most important things for any throws, which is of course true for many takedowns as well, timing. We are going to look at it through a sample of a foot sweep, and we'll first demonstrate the kind of foot sweep that you might learn in Judo practice or maybe BJJ. So let's say that this is the entry level, this is what you should be able to do in order to go for the timing issue itself. So let's start moving. With the unresisting opponent, this is obviously not too difficult, but what changes quite drastically is that when you start sparring and the opponent no longer starts walking like you would like him to walk. What I've seen quite often that people have challenges to understand what they're doing with the timing. Then as I was teaching this to BJJ players, I realized that there is actually one idea that you can utilize here to make it easier. So let's say that if I want to sweep that leg, and I will not count on the fact that he would be walking, still, if I only want to kick that leg, hoping that it hits the correct timing, that's kind of not the best way to go. Even though we don't get to see this kind of opponent walking like this, or like this, or jumping like that, we can still see a little bit of these movements. So let's say if I would at all want to move, I actually need to move both of my feet. So it's not enough for me to just move one feet. So basically it means that even though I would be walking like this only, it still means that before I'm lifting this leg, I'm actually stepping with another leg. And that's the key thing that I want to focus on today. Now we are doing the sweep at the point when he's lifting the leg and taking his kind of weight off the leg. I know that before this leg is actually taking off, this leg is going down. So this is what we are after. It's possible that I will take this step, but I never take this step. But if I'm about to take this step, it happens about now. So if I want to sweep this leg, instead of focusing on that leg, I should actually think about what happens to the other leg. Just before this leg starts to go up, it's the other leg that is going backwards. This is the thing that I need to realize. I need to utilize the other kind of indicator about the movement and use that to find the correct timing for the sweep. We walk backwards one step and I try to nail the sweep to that leg. So it becomes much easier. And this is actually something that is easier to teach as well. Because I can now tell a person who wants to sweep that leg, now move your focus to the other leg and try to develop that instinct kind of a little bit like knowingly, because you know what's happening there. He's going to take the step, so maybe he takes the second step. If he doesn't take the second step, then we just failed the kick. He didn't fall, but it's still like our best chance to find the correct timing for the takedown. So one more time. So what I'm expecting him to do is to walk backwards, and right after that, I hope he will take the second step for the other leg, and then I sweep. So this was just like a leg sweep sample, but you can actually utilize the same concept of early indicator for any other takedown. So you can do it also on the ground. So the idea is that if you are talking about the timing sensitive technique, what I recommend you to think about what is actually the thing that happens before the takedown, before the technique. And that's the way how you develop that instinct that is required for the correct timing. Now one more bonus. Now that I know that the reaction that I want to get is actually that backward step, I can start focusing on making that reaction to happen, and I can use combinations to that. So one sample thing would be that I kind of do the ouchigari, a fake ouchigari in that sense, because the only thing I want him to do is to go backwards and then I will enter with my sweep. So this is how it goes. Okay, thank you.